there's only one way to get from 10 million to $100 million, and it ain't buying more single family homes.
Yeah.
Tell me that decision, that fateful decision where you said, okay, I need to grow.
Well, kind of interesting because I was in a mastermind group. I really didn't belong in that group because I wasn't doing what like each mastermind group kind of specializes, right, in what they're doing. And I wound up in a wholesaling mastermind group. And I really didn't want to anything against it because like I've done it with, wholesale to other people.
Yeah.
But again, it's just I had so many traditional businesses that were transactional. I wanted nothing to do with anything else transactional unless I just had to, because I just didn't process anymore. But I still wound up in this group, and there was an older gentleman there with his son, and his son was interested in the wholesaling. But we went to a mixer after, the full day mastermind was over.
Yep.
We were at this little bar, and so man was just kind of sitting over by himself at the bar, kind of drinking and just watching his son, mingle and everything. I went over and talked to him for a few minutes, and he asked me what I did. I was like, I've got about 80 single family homes, and kind of looked at me funny. And he's like, why do you want that many single family homes? I was like, well, that's kind of how I feel right now, is I'm nowhere to go from here. And he's like, well, why don't you do apartments? And at that time, I remember my response to him was, I was like, well, they just turn over so much. They're more work for me. Kind of looked at me funny again. He's like, yeah, but it's all in one spot. It might be easier to turn 5 of them than one single family home. Kind of thought about it a minute. I was like, well, he's not wrong, but I didn't have any big apartment complexes. And he's like, well, for an example, last month we sold an apartment complex for $9 million more than we paid for it. And we owned it for like 2 years. And I was like, that's more than my entire portfolio's worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, well, how much work was it? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, the manager did it. He's like, I just signed papers and, told them what my plan was, and they executed the plan, and I sold it, a couple of years later there, and took a big check, and I went and bought more apartments with it.
Isn't that amazing?
And so whenever I left there, I pretty much went back and I was like, I'm not buying another single family home.